Picture this, it's 1926. The air is thick with coal smoke, and the only thing louder than the jazz is the sound of heavy machinery. Most factory workers are grinding away 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. They are exhausted, they are broken, and they have exactly 0 minutes to enjoy the lives they're working so hard to pay for. Then, one man decides to flip the entire world on its head. Henry Ford, the guy who put America on wheels, announces he's cutting his workers' hours. From now on, it's 40 hours a week, 5 days on, 2 days off. The headlines called him a saint. The unions called it a victory. But Wall Street, they thought he'd lost his mind. Henry, you're leaving money on the table. You're paying them the same $5 a day, but they're working less? You'll be bankrupt by Christmas. You don't get it, do you? A man who is strapped to a machine 6 days a week doesn't have the time or the energy to buy anything. He doesn't need a car to go to the park if he never goes to the park. I'm not giving them a vacation. I'm creating a customer. That's the secret. The 40-hour work week wasn't born out of kindness. It was a cold, calculated business move to create the weekend, a 48-hour window where workers could finally stop producing and start consuming. Fast forward to today. It's been nearly 100 years. Think about what's happened since then. We went from the Ford Model T to reusable rockets that land themselves on floating platforms. We went from telegrams to instant video calls with people on the other side of the planet. We have AI that can write code, analyze data, and generate art in seconds. By every mathematical metric, we should be working about 15 hours a week. In fact, in 1930, the legendary economist John Maynard Keynes predicted exactly that. He looked at the rate of technology and said, yeah, by my grandkids' time, we'll be struggling to find things to do with all our free time. Keynes was a genius at math, but he was a total amateur at human greed. Welcome to the 40-Hour Lie, the story of why you're still sitting in a cubicle at 4 p.m. on a Friday, staring at a spreadsheet that doesn't matter, while the ghost of a 1920s car salesman laughs from the grave. By the 1970s, the productivity gap started to open up. Between 1948 and 1979, productivity and wages grew together like best friends. If the company made more, you made more. But then something snapped. Since 1979, productivity has soared by over 60%. We are faster, smarter, and more efficient than any humans in history. But our pay? It only went up 15%. And our hours? They didn't move an inch. Inside the boardroom of a modern Fortune 500 company, the vibe isn't about efficiency, it's about optics. Look at these numbers. Our software just automated the entire accounting department's data entry. Tasks that took 40 hours now take 4. Great. So the staff can go home on Tuesday? Are you insane? If they go home, they'll realize they don't need us. Give them more work. Create a strategy alignment committee. Tell them to make a PowerPoint about the PowerPoint. I want to see heads in seats until the sun goes down. This is what anthropologists call bullshit jobs. We've reached a point where we have so much excess productivity that we literally have to invent fake work just to fill the 40-hour bucket. Enter Parkinson's Law. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. If you give a human 40 hours to do a 4-hour task, they won't finish in 4 hours and go for a hike. They will spend 36 hours stressed out, sending my last email reminders and attending Zoom calls that could have been a Slack message. We aren't working more because we have to. We're working more because the entire global economy is a giant Jenga tower built on the assumption that you are busy from 9 to 5. Think about it. If everyone suddenly worked 15 hours a week, the consumption engine would break. You wouldn't need as much fast food because you'd have time to cook. You wouldn't need the stress relief shopping spree on Amazon. You wouldn't need the $7 latte to survive the afternoon slump. The 40-hour week isn't a productivity standard. It's a cage designed to keep you just tired enough that you don't question the system, but just paid enough that you can buy your way out of the boredom. And then 2020 happened. The Great Reset. The world stopped. Offices closed. And suddenly, millions of people were doing their 40-hour jobs from their kitchen tables in their underwear. And you know what they found? They could finish their work by noon. The lie was exposed. For 2 years, we saw the biggest experiment in human history. Productivity didn't fall. It stayed the same or went up. People were happier, the air was cleaner, and the head of Synergy realized he was useless. But as soon as the doors opened back up, the empire struck back. Return to office. Mandates started flying like warning shots. We need collaboration. We need culture. We need to see your face in the office. But I'm 30% more productive at home. I've saved 10 hours a week just on commuting. I don't care about your commute. I care about the $500 million we spent on this glass building and the fact that I can't feel powerful if I'm not watching you work. See you Monday, 8 a.m. It's not about the work. It's about control. It's about the vibes of the 1920s factory floor being forced onto a 2024 digital world. The math is screaming at us to stop. Burnout is at an all-time high. Birth rates are plummeting because nobody has the time or money to raise a kid. Mental health is a flatlining EKG. We are living in a technological utopia, but we're governed by a 100-year-old ghost. So where does this end? There are cracks in the wall. Iceland tried the 4-day work week. It was a massive success. Companies in the UK tried it. Revenue went up, and 92% of them refused to ever go back to 5 days. But for the giants, the Microsofts, the Googles, the Wall Street banks, they are terrified. Because the moment the 40-hour week dies, the power dynamic shifts. If you only need 20 hours to survive, you don't need them as much as they need you. We are currently in the tightening, the inhale before the scream. We know the 40-hour week is a relic. We know the technology has already won, but we're still pretending, sitting in traffic, drinking burnt coffee, and staring at the clock. Because in the world of big business, a profitable lie is always better than an uncomfortable truth. The 1920s called. They want their schedule back. The only question is, are we going to keep giving it to them?